It's funny, isn't it? Because all through my life, what I've discovered is that there's something that's really important to me. It never ever happens when you think it should. Oh no, it's always the 11th hour before any result may show itself. And I often wonder why that is. And I think what it is that you let go of the whole thing. You reach that point where you feel like it's not going to happen and you just let it go. And when you let it go, that's when it happens. I don't know if you saw my last video, but I've recently, after over a year long search, found a van that I wanted to build out, and it was just what I wanted. So I went and had a look at it, arranged with the owner to have the pre-sale check done, because he lives about an hour away from where I am. And anyway, they bumbled around for a week looking for, they were going to do a quote for me. So they had to find parts, costs of parts, that sort of thing. Anyway, it came back. He wanted 13,000 New Zealand dollars for it, and it came back that it had, I wish I had the paper with me, but I don't, but it had some work that needed doing, and they estimated that the important stuff was going to cost around $1,800. Also, there was a warning on brakes that weren't necessary now, but they were coming up, and they were 500 New Zealand dollars a side. That's another 1,000. And the main issue is there was a small oil leak, not from the motor, but something underneath, and I can't remember what it is, but I will disclose that in the next video when I get the results back. Anyway, it's one of those things that when you take the cover off and they can see inside, then they'll know whether it's a minor job or a really expensive job. Now that's a gamble that I was willing to take. As I say, he was asking 13,000, so I said I would offer 10. I was allowing around about $3,000 to get these jobs done. And he said, oh no, 11. He was happy with 11, and I said, no, I'm sorry, 10. And then after a few days passed, I thought, well, actually, I could meet him halfway, and I said 10,500. And also asked him a couple of questions about the immobiliser that it's got fitted, and about the storage cabinets that are built in there. Were they part of the deal? Anyway, lo and behold, he gets back to me that night and says, I've taken it for a warrant and I'm going to relist it. So that kind of threw me back a little bit, because I wasn't expecting that. But I thought, well, you've got to look at it from his point of view. He's trying to get the most he can for it. In his view, it had just passed a recent warrant, and he wasn't looking at the picture from my point, that a pre-sale check is totally different to a warrant. Yes, a warrant is saying that the vehicle is fit for the road, but a pre-sale check, they look at all the engine functions, and that's a totally different animal. So, but I said to him, look, no hard feelings, I can understand your position, advertise it and see what happens. So anyway, that went on over that weekend, and anyway, on the Monday, he texted and said, let's do a deal at 11,000. And I said, no, 10's as much as I feel comfortable going. There was a silence. And I think that's when I made my video last week. And I was feeling at peace with it, because, funnily enough, when I went to look at the vehicle, there were lots of rainbows. And you might say, oh, she's a bit off. But there was just so many of them. It was uncanny. And I felt good about the van. When I saw it, I'm working on my intuition and on my gut feeling, which I'm always saying to everybody, that's what you should trust. So I've got to trust in my own advice, don't I? And so I had a nice peace about it. So then and there was days went by, and I just felt that I was just leaving it alone. It wasn't like a saw I was picking at. I just left it. And that's what I was saying about the 11th hour. It's when you come to that place where you're feeling contentment. You're not striving anymore to achieve whatever it is, buy something, do something, have someone show interest in you, or whatever it might be. You just leave it. And I did that. And then I think it was Thursday. He said, "Do you still want my van?" And it just, although there was a part of me that had kind of expected it from the signs, but didn't believe it, I thought, oh, actually, yes, I do. So I said yes, arranged to pick it up, and I went and picked it up with the help of my daughter and a partner on Saturday. So I'm now the proud owner of a lovely blue 2007 Toyota Hiace. And I'll put in a little view of it as it is, from picking it up from the owner, previous owner, as I'm the owner now, the very proud owner, I might add. And it's coming up here. So, my dear friends, if you ever find yourself feeling frustrated, annoyed, irritated, whatever, all those negative, those awful feelings, and like I shared last week, it's just so frustrating when you know what you need to make your life go forward in a good, positive way, and you get frustrated by what you see as just the lack of being able to achieve it. And with the burden of being an older person like myself, you really are under that pressure that time is running out and you haven't got time to waste, like a year waiting for this van. But in the grand scheme of things, I think things have to be right with with yourself and me. I had to have things right with me, and I'm always wanting things tomorrow, today, don't I? So what I'd just like to share with you is that let it go. Let let try and find that peace that I found, that it's a calm stillness where you know it will happen at the right time. And even though it may not be, my time, my desired time, it will happen. If it's meant to be, that's the other thing. Sometimes what we really want isn't actually in our best interests. So thank you so much for being here. I really, really do appreciate you. And I do appreciate so much your encouraging words and your advice and all the lovely comments that you all write to me. It does really touch me. It really does. So thank you. So next time hopefully I will have taken out the wooden toolboxes. I've got to just sit down in it and have a good think about all the possibilities, because there's so many possibilities and ways I could handle this build. So until next time, take very good care, enjoy this new week that we've been given, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.